Hello, hello, welcome. Sorry for the delay this morning. I had to restart the computer. Technology. Anyway, hope it works. I'm right now also rebooting. I have another computer that was in my office. I am updating that right now, so I'll be switching over to that machine sometime today or tomorrow. Whew. Unbelievable. Wow, that really stunk. I was just about to hit the live button and everything froze. Anyway, welcome, welcome. Let's see who's here today. Queen Farah, hi. Peter, hi. Marcella, thank you. Mie, welcome. Remy, good to see you. Bonjour. Naoko, hello, hello, hello. Fabulous Fabri, hi. Jason, Roberto, hi. Good to see you here. Thanks for coming. Who else is here? Elena. Excellent. Marcella, hi. Peter, thank you. Well, my goodness. Today is the 13th of February. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day for all of you romantics out there. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what are we doing today? What are we doing today? Romantic idioms. Here it is. Romantic idioms and phrasal verbs. Sort of to talk about that. Get you all in the mood. How many people are here? Let's see. It says 17 right now. I thought there would be more. Anyway, thanks for coming today. I really, really appreciate that. Hey, by the way, if you like my English lessons, tell your friends. And if you don't like my English lessons, then tell people you don't like. That's right. Margot, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I like to start out, before we get to today's lesson plan, which I said is that, I like to ask you, yes, you, sitting there in your living room or wherever you are, what did you study over the weekend? Did you learn any new vocabulary? Have you continued studying? What did you learn? Did you learn any new words this weekend? Did you read a book in English? Did you watch an American TV show? What did you do to help your English along this weekend? Share that down below in the chat, or if you're on a computer, it's probably over there. Let us know. What did you do this weekend to improve your English and take your English to the next level? I spent about 2 hours yesterday studying Japanese, an hour on reading characters, trying to build up my vocabulary, and the other hour or so was on a transcript of a YouTube video that I'm studying. And it's not easy. It's not easy. If you're a Japanese person, you might find this. This is the transcript. It's a historical. It's a video about Japanese history, and so that's what I was studying. Let's see. The phrase bring up, bring in, out, and watch CNN. Good, excellent. Inversion. Not only was she stupid, she was also ugly. Little did they know her daughter quit her job. God, I'm starving. Excellent. That's good. I'm watching Starsky and Hutch. You like those old TV shows, don't you? I continued exploring the world around. Found cast iron, flint steel, daddy legs, and give somebody the time of day. Excellent. My client made a big stink about us failing to meet the deadline. Do you use inch up? Yes, my Japanese language skills are inching up. Inch up means make progress, but slowly, in baby steps. So yeah, we use that. All right, excellent. Excellent. That's why I like this group, because you always do something in English. You're always trying to improve your skills, learn something new. It's better to feed up. That's true. That is true. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. This is not easy. This is not easy. And as I mentioned before, all of us here, working adults, right? You've got a life. Can't always dedicate an hour or 2 hours a day to study something. But if you, if you want to improve your English, your language skills, and you need to find more time, then you got to stop doing things. Like if you notice, if you follow me on Instagram or social media, you'll notice that I don't comment on your post. I don't give you a thumbs up usually. I don't have time. I also have an Instagram page which is dedicated to learning Japanese. I don't have time to update that. So I sacrifice something because I want to make more time to study. And that's how it is. All of my friends, I live in the USA. Yesterday was a big football game called the Super Bowl. My sister had a party at her apartment, and they were all, eating snacks and watching the football game. A lot of my friends were doing that. My neighbor, who I don't really know her very well, but we're friendly. We say hi. She said, "Oh, enjoy the game." Enjoy the game. You don't know me very well, do you? Me personally, I can't dedicate 3 hours to a football game or any sports game. So that's it. You have to make the decision to find the time and not to waste the time to study, right? I used to use the app Duolingo, and sometimes they give you motivational messages, and they say 15 minutes a day can help you learn another language. What can 15 minutes a day do on social media for you? Wow, good point. Even to see Rihanna. So here's the story, Remy. At my stage of life, I'll say it that way, I'm not interested in pop music like that. And also, whenever there's that kind of a show, like especially at the Super Bowl, I'm sure those musicians are lip syncing. So they play the CD and they move their mouth. No, not even to see Rihanna. I would rather, how long did she perform for? A half hour, an hour? That's an hour that I could study. That's an hour that I could put together this lesson for you today. That's an hour that I can make a podcast or cook dinner. So not interested. Not interested. But that's me. Everybody likes what they like, right? So if you're into that, go for it. I'm just not. My sister said, "Oh, before the Super Bowl, there's the Puppy Bowl, and it's a TV program with cute little puppies on a football field." I don't watch TV. And I'll tell you something else about me now that we're close and we get to know each other. We don't have television service in my house. I have internet service. We don't have TV service. I cannot turn on a television and watch television. I can turn on a TV and watch Netflix or watch YouTube, but there's no broadcast TV or cable TV in my house. Nobody watches. My mom is 93. She can't hear the TV. And I know we've tried many kinds of speakers. Doesn't work. And she can't read the captions. They go too fast. So she's not interested in watching TV. My mother would rather read a book. Me, I don't. I just don't. Maybe half hour of TV a week, which is just watching something on Netflix. So that's me. Everybody's different, Everybody's different. All right, so Marcella, you're exactly like me. Awesome. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so by the way, I wanted to tell you, this. If you do like my English lessons here, then come on and study with me. Many of you are members of my English learners community. Many of you here take my self-study courses. And some of you here take my one-to-one lessons. So thank you very much. So go for it. Come to myhappyenglish.com. Learn about all the ways that I can help you get closer to me and get closer to you, and we can study together. No binge watching. Nope. About 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I watched Wednesday. I watched one episode. Wednesday is the story of the Addams family, their daughter, Wednesday. It's a series on Netflix just about her. And a lot of people said, oh, it's really great, it's great. So I watched it. I watched the first episode. It was good. But I don't have that time. I can't do it. I'm kind of a workaholic. So all of the content that you see me post on social media, right? I produce that myself. I produce all the podcasts, new podcast coming out today. I produce the newsletter that you get on Saturdays. Many of you have seen my newsletter, and there's a place there to practice your speaking, okay? I got a lot of voicemails over the voice messages over the weekend. I'm going to check those. I check those myself. Some of you who are in my learners community, you do writing work. I check that. I do all that myself. I enjoy doing that, so I'm not complaining. So that's why, no, I don't binge watch. The next step is to quit reading the news. So what I do is I scan the news headlines just because I want to see what's going on. I don't watch the TV news. I don't doom scroll, doom scrolling when all you do is see, news. Not into it. I'm not into it. All right. Today's lesson, because we're already late getting started, is romantic. Woo! That's why I'm wearing red today. Did you notice? Romantic idioms and phrasal verbs. The first 4 episodes of Wednesday were good, but not so good after. Gotcha. See? Now we know. All right. Some of these you might know. Maybe some of these are new. Maybe some of these you haven't practiced. Let's practice together. All right, go on a blind date means to go. Who types these documents? Oh my God. Sorry, there's a typo there, obviously. It's not to go, it's to go on a date. So if you go on a blind date, it means that you have a date with somebody you've never met before. Maybe a friend knows a friend and they connect you, and the first time you meet is at the date. That's a blind date. Here are some examples. Dan had gone on several blind dates, but none of them had turned out to be the one. Despite her reservations about going on a blind date, Alice was pleasantly surprised to find they enjoyed their time together. How about you? Have you ever been on a blind date? Is that common in your country to go on a blind date? I think some countries in the world have arranged marriage where the couples go on a blind date for the first time and then they find out, hey, you guys are going to get married together. I'm an old married guy, so I don't know about dating in the 21st century. Do people still go on blind dates? How about you? Going on a blind date has become a trend today. See, I did not know that. See, thank you for letting us know. Hook someone up. Yeah, you can hook someone up. If you have a friend and 2 friends, you can hook them up together. That's what that is. Never went on a blind date. Go on a blind date. Remy, that works better. It used to be once, say 15 years ago. Okay. When I was in my 20s, it was popular to have in the newspaper, there was a section where you could post a little advertisement, and you could say, "Oh, I'm a cool guy. I like music, and I'm looking for a girl who likes music." And then that person, would contact you. I think it was with like a voicemail system. I don't really remember. That was a long time ago. Or you would get, I guess it must have been a voicemail because there was no email in those days. And I went on a blind date once when I was like 25, 26 years old. Yeah. Obviously, that didn't work out. Nowadays, you have Tinder. Oh yeah, that's an app. There are a lot of apps like that, I guess, where you can go dating on the app. I don't know. That sounds dangerous to me. I have never gone on a blind date because it looks dangerous. Yes, I went on a blind date once. It was not the best evening of my life. See? That's it. That's what happens when you go on a blind date. Go. There are a lot of things in English you can go on. You go on a date, go on vacation, go on a picnic. Okay, so go to the store, go to the park, go to the beach. You can also go on. And it's usually an event, right? So you go on a blind date, for example. Go on a trip. That's right. Go on a trip. Go on a trip. All right. Let's move ahead, shall we? If you go on a blind date and it's successful, you could say that you hit it off. You hit it off. Listen to the pronunciation there. We hit it off. Hit it off. The T at the end of the word often sounds like a weak D sound. We hit it off. We hit it off. If you hit it off with someone, it means that you have an immediate and strong connection with someone. In other words, you get along with them. Or as Naoko said, you click with them. You hit it off. Hit it off. Not hit it off. Hit it off. We don't say it that way. We say hit it off. Hit it off. Kathy and her date hit it off from the moment they started talking. Despite their age differences, Larry and Elaine hit it off and had an amazing time on their first date. I think everybody in this room, I hit it off with you because you come here each week. So we have a good connection. We have a good relationship. So you can hit it off with someone. You can use that in a romantic situation to mean romantically. Or, if you work in an office and you have a new coworker and that person is, friendly and kind of like similar personality to you, you could say, "Oh yeah, we hit it off. He's a nice guy," or "She's a nice girl." Something like that. So hit it off. Maybe you like punk rock music. Who could that be? You like punk rock music, and then you meet somebody at a party and they like punk rock music, and you start talking about, Flesh Tones and Sex Pistols and all these other punk rock groups, and then you go, "Yeah, we met at the party and we really hit it off." We hit it off. We hit it off. Hit it off. Who have you hit it off with recently? Why don't you leave a comment down below? Who did you hit it off with? I set two of my bestie up and they hit it off. They'll go on a second date. They will go on a second date. That works better. That happens all the time. All the time. I figured that. Every time you go to a gig, you hit it off with the people. The more I get older, the less people I can hit it off with. That's true. That's true. I completely understand that, Peter. Um, uh, yeah, that's for sure. I think we're alike in that respect. Um, all right, so that's hit it off. Hit it off. Hit it off. All right, next, let's talk about crush. Let's talk about crush. Um, we use crush like this. When you have a crush on someone, right? Have a crush on someone. I hit it off with all my coworkers, but I'm hoping to find a perfect one that I can hit it off with. Gotcha. Can it be used when it comes to romantic ways? Yes, of course. Of course. That's why it's here, right? They hit it off and had amazing time on their first date. They hit it off. I think hit it off is usually used that way, in a romantic way. But it doesn't have to always be that way. All right. If you have a crush on someone, it means you have strong feelings of romance. Okay? And we usually say that, I have a crush on that person, or I have a crush on her, or, he has a crush on her, about somebody you've just recently met. Right? If you have a new coworker, for example, if you're a student, a new classmate, and, you talk to them for a while, talk to them for a couple of days, and you start to have these feelings of romance towards that person, you could say, oh, I have a crush on that person. For example, Donna has had a crush on her coworker for a few months now, but she's too shy to tell him. Ooh. Joe has been trying to hide the fact that he has a crush on his classmate, but most people know she is his crush. So I can say she's my crush. She is my crush means I have romantic feelings for her. So we use it both ways. You can have a crush on someone, so I have a crush on her, or she's my crush. My friend has a crush on BTS. See, yeah, you are not alone there. A lot of people have a crush on BTS. Some grumpy old men like me have a lot of crushes. You mean you have a crush on them, or they have a crush on you? Because that could mean both ways. To be young again. I would like to have a crush on someone. We need have. I would like to have a crush on someone again. Double, but the sentence about Joe. Sorry, Fab, I'm not sure what you mean there. Is there a typing mistake? Double but. Oh, thank you. You got good eyes. But. Yeah, sorry. That's my weak point. As you can tell. Sorry about that. That's a crush. I have a crush on typing mistakes. All right. In a similar way, you can say, sweep someone off their feet. When you sweep someone off their feet, it means that you charm that person so much that they fall in love with you, right? So if you're a charming person and you charm someone and they fall in love with you, it means you sweep them off your feet. For example, when Greg met Katie, he swept her off her feet with his charming personality, and romantic gestures. Tony tried to sweep Frances off her feet, but in the end, she just wasn't ready for love. My sister always says that her husband swept her off her feet. So he charmed her and made her fall in love. He swept her off her feet. That's how we say that. Has anyone swept you off your feet recently? Maybe you swept someone off their feet. When I was young, I always swept off many drop-dead beauties. Nice. I swept them off their feet. I think this idiom has a nuance of dancing. You know, when you dance with someone, you know, maybe you just pick them up and they off their feet. I'm not sure the origin of that. He swept me off my feet. That's correct. That's how we use that. Remember, sweep is an irregular verb. Sweep, swept, swept. Sweep, swept, swept. He swept me off my feet. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. All right. And then what happens? So you have a crush on them, they sweep you off your feet, and then you fall in love. You develop strong feelings of love and affection towards someone. They spent a lot of time together, and eventually they fell in love. Tom thought he would never fall in love again after his divorce, but then he met Kimberly. Woo-hoo, Tom. That's right. That's right. On Valentine's Day, maybe that's a chance when people will fall in love. They will tell their sweetheart, you swept me off my feet. Fall in love. All right. I'm going to go a little quickly because we started late and it's late. All right. The next one. If you scroll up a bit, I can't read the first line. I'm sorry, I just scrolled. This way? Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to get that to fit in there. All right, make eyes at someone. Hold on, maybe I can explain it better this way. When you make eyes at someone, you look at them in a romantic way. Right? You make eyes at them. In other words, you look at somebody in a romantic way in order to attract them. That's what it means to make eyes at someone. At the party, Kevin couldn't help but make eyes at Olivia, who was sitting across the room. They had been making eyes at each other all night and finally decided to go out on a date. How sweet. I can move that over a little bit. My dog makes eyes at me when I'm eating. Yes. I had that same situation with my two dogs. They both make eyes at me. Especially the older one. I don't want to say his name because they're sleeping right on the other side of this fake wall. But he puts his ears back and he always looks sad and pathetic. He's an actor. Have you made eyes at anyone recently? At first, Nestor made eyes at Phoebe, but then he eventually lay his eyes on her. Ah, so sweet. So sweet. Yeah, that's what my dog does. He always puts his ears back and he looks really sad. And so, you know, oh, I'm a poor dog and I don't have any food. Hang on, I think I have a photo. I can show you a quick photo of my sad dog. There he is. Hang on one second, just to give you an idea. There he is. Oh, I'm so sad. I never get any food. What an actor, what an actor, what an actor. Their love is unconditional. That's right. He swept me off my feet, and soon we fell in love. It happened about 30 years ago. I wish I could. That's right. Dogs give you unconditional love. That's for sure. When they make eyes at you. All right. I made eyes to that girl. I made eyes at that girl. That works better. I made eyes at that nice girl at the bar all night trying to hit her up. That's right. Is it like staring? It's like staring, but not as long. I think when you stare at somebody, you continue doing that. But when you make eyes at somebody, you might look over and smile. You look away, and you look over again and smile. I know I haven't done that in a long time. Don't get old, my friends. Don't get old. It's like staring, but I think the idea is that you're trying to attract them for romance. Sometimes on a subway in New York City, the aliens will stare at you. And that's kind of spooky. Yeah, staring is not that nice. All right, go out with somebody. Okay, this is a word that I guess teenagers or college students would use. Can I say I make eyes at Snoopy stuff when I find them? You could say that. We understand what it is, but usually we use that when we talk about people. Not things. Can making eyes on someone in an office be considered as harassment? Asid, welcome. Good question. These days, I would guess any kind of romantic gesture towards a coworker could be considered harassment. But I have to be honest with you. The last time I worked in an office with a group of other people was, 2009. It's a different world now. If I was working, the way things are now, if I was working in an office right now, there would be a 0% chance that I would date anybody. I probably wouldn't even make eye contact with the coworkers. I'd be afraid to. All right, so going out with somebody means you have a steady romantic relationship with that person. In other words, you date that person, and that person is dating you, and nobody else. So they had been friends for a few months, finally decided to take the next step. They started going out with each other. Chris had known Randy for several months before he asked her to go out with him. So that's that. Can I say seeing each other instead? Yes. Chris and Randy are seeing each other. Chris and Randy are going out with each other. We use both. And about Mie's comment about Snoopy stuff. So if you see things that you like, right? We use these romantic idioms like, oh, I saw this puppy and it was love at first sight. When I went to the pet store and I saw that cat, oh, I fell in love. That the puppy swept me off my feet. We say that. Or, I went to the Lamborghini shop and I fell in love with the green one. I don't know. So you can use these objects for things. We do that in English, and it doesn't sound weird. But it's a little weird if you say, "Oh, I was making eyes at that dog in the store." So, everything depends on context. Remember, context is king. Context is king. Almost anything in language could be applied in a different situation. It depends on the context. And again, context is king. So sometimes language used in a not usual situation works, like in song lyrics. That happens all the time. So, but yeah, it's better to use it for people. I would say that. All right, going out, going steady. Teenagers say, oh, that's my girlfriend. We're going steady. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I don't know if teenagers say that anymore because I don't really know any teenagers. So you'd have to ask a teenager. So you can ask someone out. You can ask someone out. Ask someone out means to invite someone to go on a date. William was nervous, but finally got the courage to ask Lucy out on a date. She had been waiting for him to ask her out, but was beginning to think he was never going to make a move. Oh my God, don't be shy. Ask her out. Yeah, you can fall in love with things. You can say, I went to the store and I saw a red sweater that I fell in love with. We say that in English. In English, we tend to exaggerate the situation to make our language sound more colorful. So, if you go to a restaurant and they have really awesome something, I don't know, they have really delicious, what do they have? Fried chicken. You can say, I fell in love with the fried chicken at that restaurant. We say that. All right, that's ask out. So when you see somebody that you want to invite on a date, you can ask them out. All right. Continuing, you can also be crazy about someone. Oh, I'm so crazy about her. When you are crazy about someone, it means you are deeply in love, romantically interested. You can't stop thinking about that person. Wilma was crazy about her new boyfriend, Fred, and couldn't imagine her life without him. Rob was crazy about Helen for several months and finally decided to ask her out to dinner. That's right. Somebody before mentioned BTS, right? You can be crazy about a group or a singer. You can be crazy about steak. Peter says, steak is my true love. I'm always crazy about steak. That's right. I'm crazy about pizza. So we use that idiom in that way too. You can be crazy about something. What are you crazy about? I have a soft spot for, we can say about animals. Yes, I have a soft spot for dogs. Yesterday afternoon, when I took MAX for a walk, we met a 1-year-old gray, dark charcoal gray French bulldog mix. I don't know what it was mixed with, but it really looked like a French bulldog, and that dog was so cute. Oh, I have a soft spot for dogs. Yeah, you can say that. When I met my future wife, I was immediately crazy about her. There you go. So love at first sight, we say, right? Love at first sight. Did I put that in here? No, I didn't do that. We say love at first sight, right? The first time you see someone, you have these strong romantic feelings. You say, oh, it's love at first sight. And we also use that for animals and objects and food. When I ate sushi for the first time, it was love at first sight. I love this kind of conversation. Anyway, crazy about. What are you crazy about? Are you crazy about English? How about you? Are you crazy about English? Do you love English? Are you madly in love with English? Or maybe you have a love-hate relationship with English. You love it, but you hate it at the same time. Sometimes that happens. These days, I'm crazy about improving my Japanese reading skills. That's for sure. But I do have a love-hate relationship with that language. I can say I'm crazy about learning English. English is a passion for more than 30 years. Wow, awesome. A lot. Nice. We are crazy about your teaching, so we are here. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm crazy about hiking in the mountains. Somehow I knew that. How did I know that? I appreciate that. Many of you here, especially you who are here in the chat, you come every single week. And I really, really appreciate that. All right. I think there's one more. Right? Yep, that's correct. Head over heels. Head over heels. This is another idiom, another way to say that you are in love, deeply in love, crazy about someone. She was head over heels for Sam, say for someone. She was head over heels for Sam and couldn't imagine her life without him. Wow. After their first date, Doug was head over heels about Laura. So we use for or about. We use both. Elena is crazy about languages. That's right. Crazy about. I think Elena and I are both crazy about learning Japanese. That's what I've learned. Crazy about. This one, head over heels, we tend to only use this one to talk about people. That's what we tend to do. Okay, it's really just about people. It's a known idiom, but what's the physical meaning? I don't know if it has really the physically, like, when you're so happy, you jump in the air and you flip around. So your head is over your heels. You're something like that. It's that kind of an image. English is my bread and butter. Wow. Thanks, Lana. Glad to hear that. All right, and there you have it. There is our collection of idioms and phrasal verbs for romance. So let's go back to that. I'm going to fix the typing mistakes. Thank you, Fabri, for letting me know about that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Don't forget, if you want to hang out with me more, join my English Learners community or take a lesson. Come to myhappyenglish.com. You can also go to myhappyenglish.com/YouTube and you can download this document. Actually, not this one. I'm going to upload one that doesn't have typing mistakes. And you can download that for free. That's right. And when you do that, you'll be on the mailing list for my weekly English lesson newsletter. By the way, as I said earlier, if you got my newsletter over the weekend and you sent me a voice message or some writing, I will check that today. That's my plan today. How do you call Valentine's cards? We call them Valentine's cards. That's a big thing, to buy a Valentine's Day card and send it to your sweetheart. To be young again, eh? Anyway, that, my friends, that is all the time that we have for today. I hope that was a helpful and useful English lesson. By the way, if you do have a request or a suggestion for an English lesson here on YouTube, feel free to let me know. You can go to myhappyenglish.com. There's a contact button. That you can send me a message, and I would be happy to see if I can make that into a lesson for you. This is my time, but this is really your time, and I want to use this as much as possible. All right, so that's the story. Next week is the 20th. I will be back for another live English lesson. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a nice Valentine's Day. I hope you have a good Valentine's Day if you celebrate that. If not, that's okay too. And thank you so much for studying with me today. Anyway, keep also in mind that learning another language is not always easy. But that's right, it's not impossible. And I am here to help you on your journey. Thank you so much for spending time learning English with me today. See you next week.